Today's news highlights 20250812. Date August 12, 2025. Republic of China August 12, 114. Time cutoff, 1500 hours on the same day. News Focus nutritionists point out that edema is a warning sign of slow metabolism and poor circulation, which can be improved through diet and exercise. It is recommended to drink more diuretic drinks such as coffee, green tea, black bean water, corn silk tea, and red bean water, which have the best effect on warm drinks. Consume more high-potassium vegetables such as enoki mushrooms, spinach, sweet potato leaves, and high-potassium fruits such as bananas, kiwis, and dragon fruits to help excrete sodium, promote metabolism, and maintain water balance. Exercising for more than 30 minutes a day, such as skipping rope, brisk walking, cycling, etc., can promote circulation and drainage efficiency, make the legs slender and have a good complexion. News Focus sweat herpes is a type of eczema commonly found on the hands and feet, with small transparent blisters with strong itching that are not directly related to sweat glands and are often induced by metal allergies, especially nickel. Causes include genetics, exposure to chemicals, stress, diet, etc. People with nickel allergy should pay attention to high nickel foods such as beans, nuts, whole grains, some vegetables and mushrooms, cocoa, shellfish, etc. A low nickel diet is recommended in the acute phase, combined with the principles of a low nickel version of the Mediterranean diet, and adjusted under the guidance of a physician or dietitian to reduce recurrence. News Focus more than 17% of Taiwan's population over the age of 65 has become a health challenge for the elderly. Age 40 to 80 may lose 40% of muscle mass, increasing the risk of falls, fractures and disability. Doctors recommend that in addition to exercise, it is necessary to supplement sufficient high-quality protein, use pulse intake to break through the synthetic impedance of the elderly, and take into account both animal and plant sources. Those with poor teeth can choose soft proteins such as eggs, tofu, and fish, or grind nuts into powder and perform oral training. Nutrition and strength exercise can maintain mobility and quality of life. News Focus: the Executive Yuan explained the progress of Taiwan-US tariff negotiations on the 11th, and Vice President Zhang Lijun said that the two sides have not yet reached a final agreement and will strive to reduce reciprocal tariffs, include Article 232 and avoid superimposing the original tariffs. At present, our country's exports to the United States are calculated at the original tax rate plus 20%, and the average tax rate on agricultural and industrial products is about 23.3%. The delay in negotiations is mainly due to the semiconductor tax rate and the US 232 investigation, which is more complicated. The Kuomintang questioned the impact on employment and output value, and asked the Taiwan authorities to put forward a clear reduction plan and timeline. The political yuan emphasized that support measures have been developed and will be sent to the National Assembly for consideration after the agreement is reached. News Focus: the Philippine Coast Guard said on the 11th that a Chinese Coast Guard ship suddenly turned and hit its own large naval ship when pursuing a Philippine ship at high speed at Scarborough Shoal in the South China Sea, causing serious damage to the head of the warship. At the time of the incident, the Philippines was transporting supplies to the fishermen, and the Chinese side fired a high-pressure water cannon that did not hit the Philippine ship. The Chinese Coast Guard only said that it drove away the Philippine ship and did not mention the self-collision incident. Scarborough Shoal has been under Chinese control since 2012, and the dispute over sovereignty in the South China Sea continues. Before the incident, Beijing had warned the Philippines not to play with fire over the Taiwan Strait issue, while Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. reiterated that he would defend sovereignty and maintain allies with the United States. News Focus: US President Trump confirmed on the 11th that he had reached an agreement with Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang to allow the sale of low-end H20 chips in China and hand over part of the sales revenue to the US government. Trump said H20 was outdated but still commercially valuable, and the two sides finally agreed on a 15% split. The move comes against the backdrop of years of US restrictions on the CCP's access to advanced semiconductors and does not involve extending the US-China trade war truce. Trump also hinted that he may approve the export of Blackwell chips with reduced performance to China in the future. The CCP recently pointed out that H20 has loopholes and inefficiencies, and the market interprets it as a negotiation strategy. News Focus: bananas are regarded as a good digestive aid in both traditional medicine and modern nutrition, and green bananas are rich in resistant starch, which is beneficial for gut health and regulates blood sugar. Ripe bananas contain pectin, which promotes bowel movements and is easy to digest. Its potassium, magnesium, and vitamin B6 support cardiovascular health, stabilize blood pressure and improve mood. Studies have shown that bananas can relieve constipation, diarrhea, and have antioxidant effects. People with diabetes or renal insufficiency should take it in moderation. Bananas are versatile and can be used as smoothies, baked or frozen snacks, making them a nutritious, convenient, and economical everyday fruit. News Focus: doctors pointed out that although normal aging and dementia overlap, there are 5 major differences in memory, cognition, language, etc. For example, aging people can remember what they have forgotten, while people with dementia may forget completely. Both are accompanied by slower reactions, physical deterioration, and low mood. New drugs for Alzheimer's disease can remove amyloid protein and delay deterioration, and are most effective in mild stages, but they are expensive and not suitable for everyone, so testing must confirm suitability. Experts emphasize that the 3 movements, 4 highs, and 5 no's life intervention and family support system are the key to delaying and preventing dementia. News focus affected by labor shortages, high costs, and weak domestic demand. Foodpanda combined 1 billion order data, 100 consultants, and a 3-stage transformation model to launch the Catering Money and Power Stock project to help stores solve business difficulties from data cognition, behavior adjustment to in-depth data management. It is planned to provide verification tests, customized reports, and practical courses to help small and medium-sized restaurants optimize their menus, attract new customers and increase revenue for free. Existing operators have doubled their revenue by 2.5 times in half a year, demonstrating the effectiveness of digital transformation and big data applications. News focus driven by the wave of AI and technology. Taiwan's science and engineering enrollment is booming, and the number of students in humanities and social sciences has decreased significantly. In the 113th academic year, 47% of students in the field of science and technology, only 18% in the humanities, and about 33% in society. Experts pointed out that although students are interested, they are discouraged by unclear employment prospects, and suggest that the government follow South Korea's example to build a complete cultural industry chain and provide an industrial vision. The Education Department continues to adjust the department settings according to industrial needs and encourages the cultivation of talents across fields. With the decline of the higher education population, the reduction of humanities and social sciences may become a trend, but the value of the discipline is still affirmed and will be supported by a small number of schools in the future. News focus. The New York Times reported that Xi Jinping's crackdown on corruption in the military has led to turmoil and leadership chaos at the top of the PLA. Many seats in the Central Military Commission have been vacant, and many senior generals have been investigated or dismissed. Although this move strengthens the loyalty of the military, it may affect combat readiness and command trust, prompting Beijing to be more cautious in its attack strategy against Taiwan. According to the analysis of U.S. experts, it may rectify or weaken the confidence of military coordination and commanders and delay military operations against Taiwan, but if Xi Jinping decides to go to war, he may not hesitate. Despite internal fluctuations, China's military remains strong on the surface, continuing to demonstrate naval expansion and the deployment of new weapons. News focus. Morgan Stanley's latest report is optimistic about the AI supply chain, raising the target prices of Wyvern, 6,669, Jingxiangdian, Jingyuan Electronics and Shuanghong, of which Jingxiangdian is the most favored after rising more than 50%. Jingxiangdian benefited from strong demand for AI servers and networking, and its operating performance in the third quarter was promising. Wyvern expects a significant increase in revenue in the third quarter due to the strong momentum of ASIC servers, and is actively upgrading the new generation of AI server infrastructure. Jingyuan Electronics monopolizes orders for current generation XPUs, capital expenditure continues to increase, and the outlook is optimistic. Shuanghong adjusted its revenues slightly due to the delay in exchange rate and liquid-cooled product shipments. Except for Shuanghong rating, which remained neutral, the rest were better than the broader market. News focus. Bloomberg reported that Apple expects to launch a new AI voice control feature in the spring of 2026, allowing the iPhone to use speech as an app to achieve a truly touch-free experience. This feature will be integrated into Siri, allowing users to complete complex multi-step tasks such as finding photos, editing, sending, and engaging with social media through voice, making it the largest human-machine interface innovation in Apple's history. Technical challenges prevent the features from catching up with the new phones in September this year, and will need to be launched through a software update next spring. This move is expected to improve user experience and differentiation, driving the performance of supply chains such as TSMC, Honhai, and Largan. News focus. U.S. President Trump posted on his social platform Truth Social on the 11th, criticizing Nobel Prize winner Krugman as a crazy waste of time, accusing him of repeatedly mispredicting economic trends and hindering the development of the stock market. Krugman responded on Substack, saying that it was an honor to be called that by Trump, and added the crazy wasty would to his profile to show a humorous counterattack. News focus. A customer service specialist of Cathay United Bank took advantage of his position to fraudulently use customer information to apply for a replacement credit card and tamper with the correspondent's address, stealing about 6.88 million yuan and victimizing 18 people. The FSC determined that the bank's internal control mechanism had a number of deficiencies, including insufficient control over data changes, no review of payment amount adjustments, and too loose image access system, and that the bank had 3 similar misappropriation cases in the past 3 years, so it imposed a heavy fine of 12 million yuan and required additional operational risk capital. Cathay United has dismissed the employees involved in the case to strengthen its internal control system and protect the rights and interests of customers. News focus. Heavy rains in Kumamoto Prefecture, Kyushu, Japan, caused landslides and flooding, affecting nearly 170,000 households, but the operation of TSMC's Kumamoto plant was not affected. TSMC adopts flood-resistant and disaster-resistant building design in response to extreme climates, and strengthens risk management and response mechanisms in accordance with the TCFD framework to ensure ultra-pure water supply and plant safety. Its ESG governance structure is complete, and the goal of 0 days of process interruption due to climate disasters has been achieved ahead of schedule, effectively mitigating the impact of climate risks on production capacity and demonstrating industry-leading climate resilience. News focus. In order to avoid the impact of tariffs on exports by the United States, many Asian countries have actively reached long-term liquefied natural gas, LNG, procurement agreements with the United States. Japan will buy US LNG on a record scale, and South Korea has also pledged to buy about $100 billion in energy products over the next 3.5 years. Experts warn that long-term contracts could hinder renewable energy development and make infrastructure obsolete, making transition more difficult. Despite the large number of orders, actual purchases may not be enough to significantly improve the U.S. trade deficit. In addition, price and energy security risks remain, the natural gas market is highly competitive, and energy policy in Asia is facing challenges. News focus. In the third debate of the referendum on the extension of nuclear power, Huang Shixiu, a supporter, emphasized that restarting nuclear power plant 3 could save 60 billion yuan a year, improve the energy structure and enhance national defense resilience, and criticized anti-nuclear groups for spreading rumors to hinder development. The opposing party, Gan Kongwei, questioned that the third nuclear power plant is located on the Hengchun Fault, which poses a risk of earthquakes and equipment aging, and pointed out that Taiwan has sufficient backup capacity, advocating power conservation and renewable energy to replace nuclear energy, and calling for investment in low-risk energy in the future. The two sides focus on nuclear energy safety, nuclear waste disposal and energy policy disputes. News focus. In the second debate of the nuclear referendum on August 9, Kuomintang legislator Wang Xiaoling supported the extension of nuclear power, arguing that nuclear power is Taiwan's life-saving electricity with low-carbon and low-cost advantages, and pointed out that Taiwan lacks stable renewable energy and self-sufficiency. Lin Zilun, on the other hand, believes that there are two major risks of safety and cost in the extension of nuclear power plants, emphasizing the development of distributed renewable energy and smart grids to enhance energy resilience and sustainability, and pointing out that renewable energy has grown significantly in the green energy industry chain. The dispute between the two sides focuses on nuclear energy safety, economic benefits, and future energy strategies, highlighting the generational responsibility and long-term layout of Taiwan's energy policy. News focus. Although the 726 recall case did not succeed in recalling the Blue Committee, Liking of the DPP did not admit defeat and adopted a precise recall strategy, focusing its firepower on the recall of 7 seats, including the 3 Blue Committee seats in Taichung, on August 23, which became a major test for the Blue camp. Taichung Mayor Liu Zaihuan must hold all seats, which is related to her party status and the layout of the 2026 and 2028 elections. Liking emphasized that no one wins, and as long as one seat is removed, it can be declared undefeated. This wave of recalls will affect the election of the chairman of the Kuomintang and the future political situation of Blue and Green, and will become a key battle that both sides cannot ignore. News focus. Typhoon Pajal has been upgraded to a central station in the early morning of this morning, 12th, and a maritime warning has been issued, and a land warning is expected to be issued in the afternoon. The typhoon's path is repaired to the south, and the landing point may be near Taitung, and the wind and rain will be most obvious on Wednesday, 13th. Many places in Taiwan are likely to be affected by storm winds, especially in the south and east, and heavy rain in some areas is likely to reach the level of heavy rain. The Meteorological Administration reminded that whether to suspend classes will be decided by the local government based on the assessment of wind and rainfall conditions, and the typhoon will gradually move away from Taiwan as soon as Thursday, 14th. News focus. The Taiwan delegation was originally scheduled to visit the South Korean Truth and Reconciliation Commission on the 8th, but it was temporarily cancelled, which made the chairman of the committee, Park Sun-young, feel humiliated and disrespectful. She pointed out that the committee specially prepared floral arrangements, high-end Korean refreshments and gift exchanges with the theme of the Taiwan flag, but all of them were in vain because Taiwan missed the appointment. Park Sun-young even compared this incident to the humiliation of the severance of diplomatic relations between South Korea and Taiwan in 1992, criticizing Taiwan's arrogance and rudeness. Taiwan's representative office in South Korea responded that due to APEC urgent matters, Taiwan had informed the cancellation the night before and was understood, and looked forward to continuing exchanges in the future. News focus. DPP legislator Lin Daehwa was prosecuted for fraudulently receiving 14.73 million yuan in assistant fees, but was not suspended by the party and expressed his candidacy for the next mayor of Kaohsiung. Recently, the weekly magazine broke the news that she had an ambiguous relationship with Shi Huangji, the abbot of Tongfa Temple, and the two called each other husband and little girl who loves you, and the content of the news was suspected to be intimate. Lin Daehwa's office quickly issued a statement to sternly refute it, accusing it of being a battle of destruction of the personality of female political workers by the dark forces combined with the prosecution and the media, and had nothing to do with the facts of the prosecution. News-focused Japanese artist Aisha underwent single-port laparoscopic surgery in July this year to remove 12 communal uterine fibroids, and felt tormented physically and mentally after the operation. She originally broke up with her boyfriend of 4 years because of different intentions to get married and have children, but due to the inconvenience of life after surgery, her ex-boyfriend changed her mind to take care of her, which moved Aisha and decided to get back together. This operation became a touchstone for the relationship between the two, and also made each other more sure of their relationship. News focused the signature sweet and spicy food stall in Taipei's Shilin Market, which has been operating for more than 50 years, recently died suddenly due to myocardial infarction, and the news made many gourmets feel sorry. The boss's unique voice and delicious food have attracted celebrities such as Zhang Fei and Fei Yuqing. The family said they would continue to set up stalls this week and then take a temporary break. Michelin-starred chef Zhang Zhencheng also posted a message of condolences in the community, thanking these food workers who worked silently and reminding everyone to cherish the people and things around them. News-focused People's Party Chairman Huang Qiuqing announced his participation in the 2026 New Taipei City mayoral election, emphasizing that he should be the best option and is willing to have a sincere dialogue with the Kuomintang to support the opposition to promote the strongest candidate. The Kuomintang has reservations about this, saying that the next party chairman will continue to discuss cooperation. However, former legislator Chen Shuizheng criticized the People's Party for starting from the local grassroots level and should not strive for first-tier municipalities directly under the central government from the beginning, and reminded that blue-white cooperation should be pragmatically negotiated to avoid repeating the mistakes of the defeat in the 2024 election, emphasizing that the cooperation model and candidates' election still need to be resolved. News focus Park Sun-young, chairman of the South Korean Truth and Reconciliation Commission, was strongly dissatisfied with the temporary cancellation of the meeting scheduled for the 8th the night before the talks originally scheduled for the 8th, criticizing the move as diplomatic faux pas and humiliating. Park Sun-young said on Facebook that the other party's excuse for cancelling the talks was unconvincing, and that the two sides had prepared flower arrangements and refreshments inspired by the Taiwan flag, which made her extremely disappointed, and even mentioned the humiliation she felt when South Korea severed diplomatic relations with Taiwan in 1992. Taiwan explained that the reason for the cancellation was that there was an APEC emergency trip on the same day, which had been informed in advance and understood by the other party, and looked forward to continuing exchanges in the future. News-focused Typhoon Yangliu No. 11 intensified into a moderate typhoon last night, and a maritime typhoon warning was issued at 5:30 on the 26th, and the wind and rain are expected to be the most severe on the 13th. The typhoon center is located about 800 kilometers southeast of Taitung and is moving west-northwest at a speed of 25 kilometers per hour. The storm's circle invasion rate in 9 regions, including Tainan, Taitung, Green Island, Pingtung, Kaohsiung, and Orchid Island, reached more than 90%, reminding the public to prepare for Taiwan defense in advance and pay close attention to the latest meteorological developments. News focused the revenue of major domestic automakers declined across the board in July, affected by tariff pressure and market wait-and-see, and the traditional peak season of the auto market was sluggish. Hittite Automobile's revenue in July fell by only 0.3% year-on-year, the best performance, while Yulon, Zonghua Automobile, Yuri Automobile, etc. all fell sharply, with a double-digit year-on-year decline. Sanyang's export growth partially offset weak domestic sales. Sales of luxury cars and imported cars have declined significantly, and the uncertainty of tariff and excise tax adjustments has continued to suppress buying momentum, and the industry is worried that the impact may exceed expectations. News focus after leaving office, Huang Qiuqing expressed his willingness to participate in the new Taipei mayoral election, emphasizing his willingness to consult with the Kuomintang to jointly nominate the strongest opposition candidate. Huang Qiuqing hoped to be the best option and suggested that Zhang Kekai could fight in Qi or Zhanghua, and Chen Wanhui could also negotiate with the Kuomintang. The Kuomintang said that it would properly handle the blue-white cooperation after the new chairman took office and continue to maintain dialogue with the People's Party. This move has aroused concern within the blue camp about the candidate for mayor of New Taipei. News focus in 2023, Cai Shenghua was photographed returning home with Taiwanese basketball player Lin Bingsheng, who was 8 years younger than her, and then broke up with her boyfriend Yi Naiyin, who had been dating for 11 years. Although the two sides denied their relationship, the scandal continued. Recently, Lin Bingsheng was directly hit after dining in downtown Taipei, and personally drove Cai Shenghua out of the Flower Expo, and the relationship between the two is still close. Lin Bingsheng then went to the Xinzhuang Gymnasium to participate in the Jones game, and Cai Shenghua went shopping with Taiwan TV anchor Wei Yushin, looking cautious in the process, showing that the two sides still maintained close interaction. News focus singer Maihu Samiasha signed a contract with Wu Zongxian in 2022, and was regarded as the fourth daughter by brother Xian, and invested tens of millions of resources in cultivation, asking her to focus on her career and ban love. Last year, it was revealed that she was frozen after spending the night with Chen Lingchu, and Wu Zongxian publicly criticized her for not knowing how to cherish it. On the 10th, Maisa issued a statement announcing the termination of the contract with Brother Xian, thanking Brother Xian for his care and work partners, and saying that he is now free and continues to release new songs, calling on fans to support her music and wish herself a happy birthday. News Focus. The Financial Supervisory Commission imposed a fine of 12 million yuan on Cathay United Bank for stealing about 6.88 million yuan from March to October 2024 by taking advantage of his position to apply for replacement credit cards and tamper with contact information for 18 customers without authorization. The bank did not effectively confirm the needs of cardholders, resulting in the theft incident. This case is Cathay United Hua's third major misappropriation case of customer funds in the past 2 years, and the Financial Supervisory Commission has increased its punishment. Cathay United has dismissed the employees involved in the case, strengthened internal control and protected customer rights, and continued to cooperate with the investigation. News Focus. The Meteorological Administration issued a maritime typhoon warning at 5:30 a.m. this morning, with the warning area covering the sea surface of southeastern Taiwan and the Bashi Strait, and a land warning is expected to be issued in the afternoon. Yangliu is located about 730 kilometers southeast of Taitung, with a maximum wind speed of 33 meters per second, and the storm radius is expanding, making landfall tomorrow afternoon and entering the Taiwan Strait in the evening. From tonight, the wind will strengthen in the eastern half of the sea, and gusts of level 8 or above will generally be on the coast of Taiwan on the 11th, and the south of Zhonghua and east of Huadong may reach level 11 or above. There may be heavy rain in the mountainous areas east and south of Huadong, and the coastal wave height can reach up to 8 meters, so the public should take advantage of today's weather to prepare for Taiwan. News Focus. On August 11th, U.S. President Donald Trump invoked Article 740 of the Washington Autonomy Act to declare a public safety emergency in Washington, taking over the Metropolitan Police Department and authorizing the Attorney General to coordinate command, and deploying about 800 militiamen to support vigilance and logistics. Trump called the move a way to restore order and ensure the operation of federal agencies, and was also seen as a continuation of his law and order policy. The state of emergency can last up to 30 days, and its extension is subject to consent from Congress. Although violent crime in Washington has declined in recent years, the White House's security statements have raised questions in local and media places, and may trigger political and legal disputes over autonomy and federal authority. News Focus. Jason Lee, a 34-year-old American man, and his wife Katie, in order to let their son spend time with his grandparents, resigned from their savings for 5 years and went to Taiwan to start a 13-month career break, during which they did not work and focused on family and life. They rented apartments, enrolled their sons in kindergarten, and cut U.S. expenses to support themselves. Jason believes that creating memories when his parents are healthy is the most precious, and he also rethinks his career and no longer pursues high salaries. Originally planned to return to the United States in August this year, due to Katie's pregnancy delayed, she welcomed her daughter Ruby in July and will return to the United States with her family in October. News Focus. This year's number 11 typhoon Yangliu has strengthened into a central Taiwan and is moving west-northwest at 25 km per hour, passing through the southern waters of Ryukyu today, 12th, and may make landfall from South Hualien to Taitung tomorrow, and there is also a chance from North Hualien to Yunnan. The Meteorological Administration estimates that it will still maintain its central intensity as it approaches Taiwan, gradually weaken after landfall, and move away from China on Thursday. There are 9 counties and cities in Taiwan with a storm intrusion rate of more than 90%, including Tainan, Taitung, Green Island, Pingtung, Kaohsiung, Orchid Island, Penghu, and Chi counties and cities. The Coast Guard has been released, and the land police will follow up as soon as this afternoon, and the typhoon holiday will be decided according to the latest assessment of local governments. News Focus. The Legislative Yuan passed the Special Regulations on Resilience on the third reading on July 11, stipulating that the universal cash payment of 10,000 yuan before October 31, and President Li Qing's announcement came into effect on July 22. Premier Zhou Rongta said on the 12th that the government will evaluate whether to adjust industrial support or add specific industrial projects on the basis of the current regulations, and send it to the Legislative Yuan for deliberation according to the amendment if necessary, and the rest of the content shall be subject to the original announcement. He also pointed out that the implementation of the financial planning law will cause a central financial gap next year, and the government will respond by borrowing, and it is estimated that the central budget borrowing amount will be high next year. News Focus. Democratic Progressive Party legislator Lin Dehua was prosecuted for fraudulently receiving assistant fees and political donations, and today, 12th, it was revealed that he had a close relationship with Shi Huangji, the abbot of Tongfa Temple, and called himself husband and self-proclaimed little girl who loves you in the conversation record. Lin Dehua issued a 3-point statement, saying that the revelations had nothing to do with the facts of the prosecution, criticizing specific dark forces for colluding with the media to destroy the personalities of female political workers and practitioners with unknown information, and emphasizing that they would fight to the end. She questioned that the attack was related to its rise in polls and called on citizens to decide the future of Kaohsiung. News Focus: a man surnamed Lin and his 7-year-old daughter died of suspected carbon monoxide poisoning in Zhonghua Fangyuan, and the girl's Korean mother was suspicious of the cause of death. The Zhonghua District Prosecutor's Office clarified on the 11th that the organs had been returned after being removed by laboratory tests, and the disappearance of the external organs was false, and the cause of death was to be confirmed by the forensic report. The mother said that her daughter had dreamed and accompanied a vision at home, and once suspected that her ex-husband was involved in the case, but after listening to the prosecution's explanation and understanding the grief of the other family, she chose to let go of her doubts, hope that her daughter will rest in peace, and respect the judicial investigation. News Focus: People's Party Chairman Huang Qiuaqing passed the 2-year clause for non-district legislators on the 10th, confirming that the term of office for 7 members, including him, will end on January 31, 2026. Yesterday, 11th, he made it clear for the first time in an interview that he would run for mayor of New Taipei, saying that he would make himself the best option and communicate with all parties in the opposition with goodwill and sincerity, hoping to build consensus and launch a group of candidates. He immediately changed his Facebook profile picture and cover photo, triggering polarized reactions from netizens, some praising him for being handsome, and some people sour for losing the election. Huang Qiuaqing emphasized that the principle of running for election is to let Li step down in 2028, and he will not participate in the war without a chance of winning. News Focus: the women's sauna of a well-known hotel in Gyeongju, South Korea, is deteriorating due to the aging of the glass privacy film, resulting in the appearance of naked women being clearly visible from the outside. The male guest discovered this situation when he moved in with his wife and children, reported it to the hotel but denied it, and later admitted and promised to replace the privacy film because the evidence was exposed, but refused to apologize publicly. The incident caused anxiety and insomnia among female guests, and the hotel's negative attitude caused controversy, highlighting the negligence of privacy protection and the responsibility of the operator. News Focus: in recent years, prolonged interactions with AI chatbots like ChatGPT have raised mental health concerns. In the United States and Europe, there have been cases of delusions, insanity, and even hospitalization and unemployment due to indulgence in AI conversations, which experts call AI psychosis. Danish psychiatrist Søren Ostergaard warned that generative AI anthropomorphic responses can easily induce 3 major symptoms: messianic mission delusion, deified AI delusion, and romantic attachment delusion, which are particularly harmful to psychologically vulnerable groups. He suggested the development of automated protection mechanisms to detect signs of delusions early and refer them to mental health resources. News Focus: actor Yang Shangbin passed away peacefully in the early morning of August 11 at the age of 43. His younger brother made a public announcement on social platforms, revealing that he walked peacefully, with his family and friends by his side, and the funeral arrangements will be announced later. Yang Shangbin made his debut in 1997 by imitating Dawn, and collaborated with Joey Young, then changed careers to become a dancer and participated in the movie 29+1. In recent years, there have been few works, and it has been revealed that he has been suffering from depression for a long time, and it is embarrassing to post articles expressing his inner pain and struggle. News Focus: Portuguese football superstar Cristiano Ronaldo and his girlfriend Georgina announced their marriage, ending an 8-year love run. Georgina showed off a giant diamond ring on Instagram on the 12th and officially announced that she had become Ronaldo's wife. The two made their relationship public in 2017 and have 3 children. Georgina has transformed from a former Gucci cabinet sister to a model, her popularity has soared, and she even has a Netflix reality show. Although there were rumors of discord due to consumption habits, this engagement broke the doubts of the outside world. Georgina wrote emotionally, "Yes, I do. In this life and in all my future lives." News Focus: Japanese artist Isa Senda has been dating her boyfriend Blue Treasure Man outside the circle for 4 years, and broke up in early 2025 due to different marriage concepts. Aisha underwent uterine fibroid surgery in July, and after the operation, she was physically and mentally depressed, and Lan Baonan took care of her carefully, which warmed up the relationship between the two and made them sweetly reunited. Aisha originally hoped to maintain the status quo and not marry, and delayed the operation to accompany her dog, causing the fibroids to grow from 7 cm to 12 cm. News Focus: mainland actress Zhao Lucy and the agency Galaxy Cool Entertainment broke out in a contract dispute, resulting in her not having public activities for the time being, and currently only relying on live broadcasts to interact with fans. During the live broadcast yesterday, 11th, she forgot to turn off the gas stove, but fortunately, netizens reminded her in time to avoid accidents. Zhao Lucy revealed that after the contract renewal, the share changed from 5 to 3/7, and the company demanded compensation for the renewal money. Director Wang Jing pointed out that the dispute is related to interests, believing that although the company has signed multiple artists, it only makes Zhao Lucy popular, which is a one-star company business model and lacks strength. News Focus: 57-year-old artist Shen Yulin confirmed on the 6th that she had leukemia and had been transferred from the 3rd General Hospital to National Taiwan University Hospital for treatment. Shen Yulin issued a document on the 11th to clarify that she was diagnosed in the emergency department on July 28, and the third general manager had started testing and low-dose chemotherapy at that time, and transferred to National Taiwan University on August 7, and Professor Ho Xianen took over high-intensity chemotherapy and targeted therapy, and the treatment was in good condition without obvious side effects. He thanked the medical team and said that he would fully cooperate and look forward to seeing everyone again soon. On Father's Day, he also shared the same frame with his wife and daughter, showing optimism and receiving blessings from fans and friends. News focus after the breakup between Jianing, a member of the YouTube channel Crowdweight, a financial dispute broke out with Andy, and Jianing was prosecuted for obstructing the use of computers, but he still continued to expose Andy's cheating, causing disgust among netizens. Recently, Jianing admitted that she had no income for half a year, and finally received a self-media management speech job. She shared her personal brand and growth experience, and reminded not to make up an image. The real can last. This is also her first face-to-face course, which moved the students to have the courage to ask questions, and hopes to have more opportunities in the future. News focus after completing the vote on the recall, Chen Zhaihan, a well-known internet celebrity curator, recently went to Macau to negotiate business, and announced that he would go to Shenzhen in August, which would surpass the previous sensational trip to Shanghai. Last night, the curator announced that he would leave today and will hold a live broadcast in Shenzhen on the 13th, calling on mainland compatriots to assist. He revealed that he is studying the Douyin platform and considering live streaming the military parade, but it has not yet been determined whether permission can be obtained. The curator admitted that the preparation of this live broadcast in Shenzhen was difficult and required coordination from multiple parties, which made him feel upset, but he still looked forward to bringing real content to Taiwanese audiences. News focus in the autumn of 2025, the zodiac monkey, dragon, ox, and pig will have a prosperous fortune. Monkeys have the help of noble people, career breakthroughs, and are suitable for developing side hustles. Dragons have more opportunities for promotion in the workplace, and operators can cooperate with large enterprises. Ox people work hard and harvest richly, suitable for developing new customers, and must pay attention to the balance between work and rest. Pigs have strong financial luck, creative work is inspired and breakthroughs, and moderate participation in investment and financial management. The four zodiac signs are supported by noble people, ushering in a positive turn in career and wealth. News focus Huang Qiuakang, chairman of the People's Party, announced that he would participate in the 2026 New Taipei mayoral election, and did not rule out the opposition party pushing the strongest candidate. Political commentator Wu Jing'ai analyzed that Wang's move was actually a political calculation, intended to pressure the Kuomintang to make concessions and avoid the split between blue and white to help the green camp win. New Taipei is an important town in the blue camp. Li Sichuan, the former vice-mayor of the Kuomintang, leads the polls. Huang Qiuakang's support is low, and he admits that he will not be unsure of running for election. News focus on the 11th. The Legislative Yuan passed the special regulations on strengthening the resilience of economy, society, people's livelihood, and national security in response to the international situation, stipulating that the universal cash payment of 10,000 yuan will be paid by October 31. Zhou Rongta, the head of the administrative agency, said on the 12th that President Lai Ching-te has announced and taken effect, and the government will evaluate whether to adjust industrial support or add specific projects, and plans to send it to the Legislative Yuan for deliberation in the form of amendments to regulations, and the rest will be implemented in accordance with the content announced by the president. At the same time, Zhou stressed that the government's focus is still on tariff negotiations, and pointed out that next year's central budget will have to increase borrowing to cope with the fiscal gap due to the impact of the fiscal planning law. News focus The willow in the middle of Taiwan will be closest to Taiwan on the 13th, and the Meteorological Administration has issued a maritime warning, and it is expected to issue a land typhoon warning in the second half of today. Yangliu is currently located about 730 kilometers southeast of Taitung, continuing to move west-northwest, with a central pressure of 970 HPA, strong wind speed, and continuous expansion of storm radius. In the next 120 hours, the probability of storms in 7 counties and cities, including Taitung, Pingtung, Qi, Tainan, Kaohsiung, and Penghu, will exceed 90%. The Meteorological Administration reminded that due to the impact of the typhoon, there will be strong winds in many places in the east and central and southern regions, and whether to take a typhoon holiday will depend on the change in the path of the typhoon, and the public should continue to pay attention to and prepare for Taiwan. News focus Lan Xinmei, the 59-year-old fashion leader, was busy until the early hours of the morning before finishing work, sharing tired photos without makeup on Facebook in the early morning, and revealed that she had cold sores, angular cheilitis, on the corners of her mouth, which aroused the concern of fans. Netizens have left messages reminding her that her body may be a warning sign that her immunity may be weakened due to overwork, and it is recommended to pay more attention to rest, recuperate her body, and give warm support, hoping that she will recover as soon as possible. News focus physician Huang Xian reminded that plastic bottled water at high temperatures will release harmful substances such as bisphenol A, BPA, which may increase the risk of obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and coronary heart disease, and affect male sperm quality and fetal brain development. Studies have shown that drinking plastic bottled water for a week increases BPA concentration in urine by 69%. It is recommended to avoid exposing bottled water to the sun or putting it in the car in summer. Use glass or stainless steel water bottles instead, and choose products labeled BPA-free to ensure the safety and health of drinking water. News focus. After discovering that she was pregnant for 4 months, her mother Chi-Chi welcomed her daughter Chi-Chien, who was born with multiple defects. Chi-Chi was born weighing only 1,380 grams, suffering from serious problems such as upper hole, kidney deficiency, and spine and sternal hypoplasia. Doctors called her a deformed child, and her family was divorced and refused to support her due to difficulties. In the face of difficulties, her mother insisted on taking care of Chi-Chi, learning sign language on her own and cooperating with occupational therapy, making Chi-Chi the popular king of the class. Government subsidies also helped her overcome the $1 million cost of electronic ears. Mother's love is firm, making Xiao-Chi bloom with a bright smile and touch everyone. News focus. In the second half of 2025, Ziwei Dusha Dragon Dexing will help the 4 zodiac signs of rat, horse, dragon, and tiger, bringing financial opportunities. Rat people will open new sources of wealth due to the guidance or professional skills of their elders. Horses have increased profit opportunities due to business trips or cross-regional operations. Dragon people will receive assistance from nobles in financial difficulties, ushering in willows and flowers. Tigers can get financial support through partners, or old acquaintances, and cooperation and sharing are key. This period is suitable for seizing the opportunity of nobles and ushering in bad luck. News focus. Mars enters Libra from 8/7 to 9/20, bringing a contradiction between action and balance, affecting interpersonal relationships and potentially overturning the 4 zodiac signs. Cancer's emotions are prone to sudden outbursts and their image changes drastically. Libra is hesitant and his decision-making is questioned. Capricorn's rigorous image is destroyed by impulsive behavior. Aries has limited mobility and becomes indecisive. It is recommended to refer to both the sun and rising signs to pay attention to the challenges posed by internal and external conflicts. News focus. Yang Qbi recently underwent tonsil surgery, and nearly 2 weeks after the operation, she still felt difficult to speak and her voice was hoarse. She shared the recovery process on IG, revealing that due to her constitution that bleeds easily and has repeated fever, it is quite difficult to recover, and she has also felt a strong fear of suffocation due to a blood clot blocking her breath after surgery. The sense of smell and taste is also affected, making recovery more difficult. She is currently working hard to practice speaking, preparing for this week's work, thanking fans for their support, and looking forward to recovering her health as soon as possible and regaining her vital state. News focus. The ancient city of Lulin is located in the desert of Xinjiang, and the dry climate allows the ancient corpses to be preserved. In 1979, archaeology discovered a well-preserved dry corpse of a Lulin woman, who was called the Beauty of Lulin because of her beauty. In 1934, Swedish archaeologist Bergman discovered another mummy in Lop Nur, known for its mysterious smile. In 2000, the expedition team accidentally discovered a painted canoe coffin from the Han and Jin dynasties in a dry river, which combines Eastern and Western cultural elements and is of great value. But the colored coffin later mysteriously disappeared and was suspected of being stolen. The discovery of the ancient city of Lulin reveals the wonders and mysteries of ancient civilizations and attracts global archaeological attention. News focus. This content illustrates the contradiction between Zhao Lucy and Galaxy Cool Entertainment Agency, as well as director Wang Jing's views on the matter. Wang Jing believes that Galaxy Cool Entertainment relies too much on Zhao Lucy alone and lacks systematic training of newcomers, resulting in serious risks to the company's operation. He pointed out that Zhao Lucy's success came more from her personal efforts and market opportunities than from the company's full support. If the agency only uses the artist as a cash cow and ignores the rights and interests of the partner and the artist, it will inevitably lead to a breakdown of trust and termination of the contract. Wang Jing also emphasized that agencies should protect artists in terms of income, taxation, physical and mental health and professional support, but believes that Galaxy Cool Entertainment has not performed well in these aspects. News focus. Zhou Rongta, the head of the administrative agency, said in the Legislative Yuan that although the special resilience regulations have come into effect, due to the increase in budget expenditure by the Legislative Yuan and the lack of consultation with the administrative agencies, administrative procedures and budget preparation are difficult, and it is impossible to distribute 10,000 yuan in cash before the end of October as scheduled. Zhou stressed that he would seek a solution to the constitutional dispute and promote the distribution as soon as possible based on the principle of taking care of the majority of the people as possible. As for whether the general cash is borrowed, Zhou said that he will abide by the constitutional procedures and implement it in accordance with the law, hoping to take into account people's livelihood and industrial support. News focus. The July revenue of listed companies was announced, and the annual growth rate of multi-month consolidated revenue exceeded 50%, attracting legal person funds to actively deploy. The stock price performance was strong, and short-term bull momentum could be expected. The demand for AI servers and high-speed networking has boosted the growth of Weibing, Zhaibang, Wistron, etc., and the robot group Hungjun has been blessed by the hot sales of Nintendo Switch 2, and Colliers has benefited from liquid cooling orders. The legal person reminded that the new tariff policy in the United States still interferes with the market, and Taiwan stocks fluctuate at a high level in the short term, and it is recommended that investors lay out targets with good fundamentals and long-term potential on DIPs, and pay attention to financial reports and exchange loss risks. News Focus L using Z, a senior semiconductor critic, pointed out that he has covered TSMC and wafer foundry for nearly 30 years, and has made many inaccuracies at the right time, so it is recommended to focus on long-term holding. He described TSMC's senior shareholders as mountaineers and shared 5 characteristics: long-term shareholding and not easily adjusting the portfolio, the shareholding ratio exceeds 50%, and the decline is increased, continue to use dividends to deposit shares, holding more shares than cash, attach importance to long-term competitiveness and policies, and ignore short-term market noise. Gifts will be given to children in advance to save future gift tax. He reminded investors to avoid blind timing and focus on industry trends. News Focus: the Tainan city government recently bid for land in the Nang FG Special Zone and Yongkong Yangzing Middle School, and only Yongkong commercial land was bid at a price close to the reserve price, and all Nang land was unsuccessful. Xinyi Housing Analysis pointed out that due to the uncertain economy, builders have a conservative attitude towards land purchase and promotion, reflecting that some people do the head-killing business, and no one does the money-losing business. With the end of the wave of house deliveries from the second half of this year to next year, it is expected that the supply of new houses will decrease, and there will be many choices of objects and large bargaining space in the short term, which is a good time for buyers who just need to enter the market. In the future, supply will decrease, and bargaining elasticity will shrink. News Focus: Zhou Rongta, the head of the administrative agency, said that the U.S. reciprocal tariff on Taiwan is the original tariff rate plus 20%, which was explained as early as April, but because the administrative agency did not emphasize it many times, it caused misunderstandings and will be deeply reviewed. He stressed that negotiations are still ongoing, and the two sides have a confidentiality agreement, which will be fully explained to the National Assembly and the people before the final stage, and seek the support of the National Assembly to expand assistance to the affected industries. In the face of the opposition party's criticism of the black box and abdication of responsibility, Zhou Rongta responded that this is a fact and not a gaffe, but the executive department does not understand it deeply enough and will strengthen communication. News Focus: DPP legislator Lin Dehua was prosecuted on suspicion of fraudulently receiving assistant fees, but still insisted on running for mayor of Kaohsiung in 2026. Today, 12th, it was revealed by the weekly magazine that he had an ambiguous relationship with Shi Huangji, the abbot of Tongfa Temple, and called the other party husband and little girl who loves you in the mobile phone conversation. Lin Dehua's office strongly denied that the revelations were related to the facts of the prosecution, criticizing it as a combination of prosecution and investigation and the media to humiliate female political workers and call for severe condemnation. Lin Dehua himself also said that the attack will increase the polls, insist on going his own way, and expect Kaohsiung citizens to make a fair judgment. News Focus: many public toilets have a double-layer design, and the Japanese blogger Fish Paste Couple found that this design stems from anti-theft considerations. In the early days, there was only one hook, and there were cases of thieves stealing bags from above the door, but it was changed to 2 upper and lower ones in the late Showa period in Japan to strengthen the anti-theft function. Netizens had a heated discussion about this. Some mistakenly thought it was an anti-collision design or convenient for hanging more items, while others shared that they already knew the purpose, and even some school girls avoided being stolen because of this. The double-layer hook is not only convenient, but also has a safety protection effect. News Focus: under the influence of Typhoon Yangliu, Pingdong-Donggang and Xiaoliokyo ships opened additional evacuation flights on the 12th, and announced the suspension of flights on the 13th and 14th, and most of the passenger itineraries were changed to same-day round trip. Taitung to and from Green Island and Orchid Island was completely suspended after 9:30 a.m. Local operators have prepared anti-typhoon measures in advance, fishing boats have been fixed with ropes, and catering and homestay operators have dispatched supplies in advance to ensure safe supply during the typhoon and strive to reduce the impact of wind damage. News Focus: in the morning, the weather in Yulan was sunny, and the giant Snoopy duck in Dongshan River Water Park was deflated in advance due to the typhoon, and the whale-watching boat in Wuxi Port still attracted a large number of tourists to queue up, but in the afternoon it will be suspended due to Taiwan defense. The Cultural Affairs Bureau said that the prevention operation has begun, and the people of Yulan have taken advantage of the good weather to play in the water and watch whales. Whale-watching associations emphasize safety first, and flights will be cancelled if there are strong winds and waves. As Typhoon Yangliu approaches, the public must continue to pay attention to weather changes and prepare for Taiwan. News Focus: the Taiwan Public Opinion Foundation released the second wave of 823 recall polls, showing that 31.7% of Taiwan were in favor of the recall, 61.4% were not in favor, and 75.4% were willing to vote. National Taiwan University professor Zhou Zhengdong pointed out that the anti-recall ratio is higher than average, reflecting a clearer public opinion, believing that the recall result is the general trend, but the voter turnout is still the key. He warned that this is a warning sign to the ruling party, and if it does not change its strategy, it may face a greater crisis. The survey was completed from August 4 to 6 with a valid sample of 1,079 people with a margin of error of about plus or minus 3%. News focus: Lu Haruo, a 57-year-old former female anchor of Phoenix Satellite TV, suffered a train derailment accident while traveling in the UK with two friends in 2002, and the two friends were unfortunately killed. Her friend Wang Wenjing recently shared her health life, emphasizing that although Lu Haruo has recovered, she still has short-term memory impairment, blood sugar problems and other sequelae, usually lives in Tamsui, spends the day with the sunset at dusk, loneliness is always there, but there are still old friends to visit. News focus: recently, fraud cases have been frequent, and banks have strengthened anti-fraud measures. Mega Bank will implement a low balance closing mechanism from August 20 and cooperative vaults from October 29, suspending transactions and cancelling accounts for those with warning accounts and deposits of less than 1,000 yuan. The cooperative treasury also controls salary transfers, and the service can be suspended without salary entry for more than 1 month or no transactions for a long time. Land Bank expects to add a new function of display beneficiary account name in online banking by the end of September to reduce the risk of mistransfer. Other banks restrict transactions for accounts that have not been traded for a long time and have low balances, and reduce the withdrawal limit, with the overall goal of improving transaction security and reminding the public to pay attention to bank announcements. News focus: Yongqing Real Estate Group launched the Yongqing AI Special Assistant, providing a new house search experience of no need to look, just ask through line. Consumers only need to enter the region, budget, and conditions, and the AI will automatically recommend objects and analyze the characteristics, market conditions, and community advantages. The service includes Ask AI, Feature AI and Community AI, and combine technologies such as short video guides and decoration simulation to make home search more instant, personalized and convenient. Yongqing emphasizes that AI technology combined with professional broker services creates a safe, efficient, and considerate home buying process for consumers, leading the real estate agency industry into the AI era. News focus: Peng Xiao, chairman of Quenya Biotech, gave up his father's wood business at the age of 24 and went to Malaysia to start a business, focusing on agricultural waste conversion and becoming a leader in sustainable biotechnology. He keenly grasps the pain points of the oil palm industry, promotes green agriculture and ESG concepts, and solves the problems of chemical fertilizer carbon emissions and waste. At the age of 35, he was named Dato, becoming the youngest Taiwanese person to be knighted at that time, and was known as the Malaysian Fertilizer King. Today, he is actively expanding into the Indonesian market, brewing a new wave of green revolution and continuing to use biotechnology to promote sustainable development. News focus: Former U.S. President Donald Trump reached an agreement with NVIDIA to allow it to export the previously controlled AI chip H20 to China on the condition that NVIDIA pay 15% of its revenue to the U.S. government as a commission. AMD has a similar arrangement. This move breaks the long-standing policy of the United States to strictly control technology exports on the grounds of national security, and has been questioned by lawmakers from both parties that it may set a precedent for paying for exports and weaken the national security defense line. The U.S. Department of Commerce said that the chip was widely sold in China as early as possible, with low risk and in the interests of the United States. News focus: Park Sun-young, chairman of the South Korean Truth and Reconciliation Commission, questioned that the temporary cancellation of the meeting by Lin Mingzhen, a member of Taiwan's executive yuan, was a diplomatic faux pas. Lin Mingzhen's office responded that because the APEC Women and Economic Forum had urgent work on the 8th that had to be prioritized, it was notified and apologized 1 day in advance, and the other party also expressed its understanding in a letter. Lin Mingzhen continued to participate in the forum and related inspection itineraries, emphasizing the importance of communication, was surprised by the other party's subsequent social media accusations, and looked forward to visiting again in the future. News focus: The well-known beauty blogger Li Jie, Lin Ruyu, died suddenly on the 10th at the age of 36, and the news shocked fans and friends. Her best friend Tiao expressed her condolences on social media, emotionally saying that she had felt her mood when they last met, and her grief was difficult to let go. Lizier's husband also confirmed the news, saying that although Liz left, the beauty and love left behind will last forever, and the IG account will be retained as a place of remembrance for fans. Tiao recalled the deep friendship between the two, emphasizing that Lichi still lives in her heart and has become the strength for her to continue moving forward. News focus: Zheng Kenkai, executive director of the Nantou County Party Department of the Democratic Progressive Party, died of cellulitis yesterday, 11th, evening at the age of 45. Zheng Kenkai's condition was critical, and he relied on yucca membrane to survive, but in the end he still lost to the disease. Legislator Cai Pai Huai mourned his selfless dedication and running for the villagers, always being the first to arrive and the last to leave, warm and reliable. Zheng Kenkai enthusiastically served the villagers and supported Taiwan's democracy with actions during the election campaign. After the news came out, netizens left messages to thank him for his efforts and wished him a good journey. News Focus. Park Sun-young, chairman of the South Korean Truth and Reconciliation Commission, criticized Taiwan's executive UN political counselor Lin Mingzhen and others for temporarily canceling the scheduled meeting, calling it a diplomatic faux pas. Park Sun-young was dissatisfied with Taiwan's cancellation of the talks for unconvincing reasons, but participated in other close meetings on the morning of the same day, questioning the deliberate avoidance of official exchanges. Lin's office responded that due to the budget freeze and resource tightening, and during the APEC Women and Economic Forum in Incheon, Political Commissar Lin had to temporarily deal with urgent matters related to the conference declaration, so he could not attend the meeting at 9:30, and emphasized that he would deliver a speech at the high-level meeting on the 12th, emphasizing the importance of this topic to Taiwan's gender equality policy. News Focus. On July 21, a double murder case occurred in Zhonghua Fengyuan, and an adult man and a 7-year-old girl were found in the car. The girl's mother, a woman surnamed Han, found that her daughter's tongue and throat were missing when she identified the body, causing controversy. The prosecution said that the forensic doctor did remove the tongue and throat for laboratory testing, and the body was completely returned after examination. The girl's body was suspected of carbon monoxide poisoning, but was subsequently ruled out. The forensic doctor explained that the tongue was removed to clarify whether it was homicide, and the tongue may have slipped into the chest cavity when the body was put back, but this statement was not accepted by the family. News Focus. Hong Kong actor Yang Shangbin passed away peacefully in the early morning of August 11 at the age of 43. Yang Shangbin won the championship of Hong Kong to Like Dawn imitation contest in 1997, signed a contract with Emperor Entertainment, and later turned into a dancer and joined the dance group BRO5, and then entered stage plays and film performances. In recent years, he has publicly revealed that he has been suffering from depression for a long time. The younger brother confirmed the death on social platforms, saying that Yang Shangbin was accompanied by his family and friends at the last moment, and walked peacefully and painlessly. Funeral arrangements will be announced later, and relatives, friends and fans have expressed their condolences and reluctance. News Focus. DPP legislator Lin Daehwa was prosecuted by the prosecution on suspicion of fraudulently receiving assistant fees and political donations, and the media broke the news that he had an ambiguous relationship with Shi Huangji, the abbot of Tongfa Temple, and the mobile phone conversation content appeared in the content of the mobile phone calling the other party husband and love your little girl, and even Shi Huangji participated in the review of his team's funds and personnel. Lin Daehwa's office issued a 3-point statement, emphasizing that the facts of the prosecution had nothing to do with the media revelations, accusing that this was a humiliating and personality destruction war of female political workers by dark forces combined with the prosecution and the media, and said that it would persevere to the end, defend the dignity of political workers, and call on not to affect the justice of the judicial process with unclear information. News Focus. A few months ago, the tumor was obvious and bleeding during the examination, but after the hard work and support of the medical team, the patient and his family, he found that the tumor had completely disappeared during the recent follow-up visit, leaving only scars and no traces of cancer cells. Oncologist Wu Jiaon said that not everyone has such a case of reversal, but adhering to the correct treatment strategy and not giving up mentality is the key. He emphasized that medical care is a team effort, and the treatment method needs to be adjusted according to individual circumstances, encouraging patients who are fighting cancer to gain hope and strength from it. News Focus. According to the latest poll by the Taiwan Public Opinion Foundation, President Lai Ching-te's approval rate for handling national affairs is only 33.3%, and the disapproval rate is as high as 54.4%, and support has dropped sharply, and even 43% disagree in his hometown of Tainan. The analysis pointed out that factors such as the failure of the July recall, the U.S. tariff issue, the improper handling of the floods in the south, the cabinet's performance and diplomatic setbacks led to an unprecedented decline in Lai Ching's popularity. The polls reflect public dissatisfaction with the government and show that governing faces serious political challenges. News Focus. Fast food companies have completely replaced the packaging with a plastic-free paper design, making it more hygienic and convenient for customers to hold the burger with one hand. McDonald's said that the packaging material is starch-based and silicone-based instead of plastic, which is suitable for different meal characteristics, and emphasizes that it continues to promote plastic reduction and waste reduction from responsible procurement, packaging reduction to recycling. Through packaging innovation, the industry hopes to achieve small changes in big good, improve the consumer experience and demonstrate the positive impact of the enterprise. News Focus. In late August, the Soha Fortune column named the 4 zodiac signs of Pisces, Sagittarius, Leo, and Taurus to usher in good luck. Pisces has strong career luck and is expected to meet noble people and obtain cooperation and investment opportunities. Sagittarius has outstanding workplace performance, with good promotion and salary increase and partial financial luck. Leo nobles have strong luck, smooth careers, and wealth. Taurus is rewarded with a down-to-earth attitude, career promotion, investment and unexpected wealth, and their fortune reaches its peak. News Focus. People's Party Chairman Huang Qiuqing announced yesterday that he would participate in the new Taipei City mayoral election, triggering discussions on blue-white cooperation. The Kuomintang said that the next party chairman will properly handle relations with the People's Party and start dialogue. Chen Shuizheng, a former Kuomintang legislator, bluntly said that the growth of the White Camp is natural, but it is not appropriate to rush to the frontline municipalities directly under the central government from the beginning, and it is recommended to start with the people's representative or provincial municipalities. He stressed the need to pragmatically promote the Blue and White Alliance and select the strongest candidate through multiple consultations to avoid repeating the mistakes of the 2024 election defeat. News focus: with the rise of the trend of self-cooking, the hazards of kitchen fumes have attracted increasing attention. Physician Hu Hokun pointed out that high-temperature oil fumes contain a variety of toxic substances and PM2.5, which irritate the respiratory tract, and long-term inhalation may cause chronic cough, bronchitis, decline in lung function, and even increase the risk of lung cancer. Oil fumes damage the throat mucosa, induce worsening of asthma, and carcinogens increase the risk of lung cancer by 2 to 3 times. It is recommended to install high-efficiency range hoods, control oil temperature, choose oil products with high smoke points, wear masks and clean the kitchen frequently to avoid long-term health damage. If you have a persistent cough or shortness of breath, you should seek medical attention as soon as possible. News focus: DPP legislator Lin Dehua was prosecuted on suspicion of fraudulently receiving assistant fees, and the weekly magazine broke the news that she had an ambiguous relationship with Shi Huangji, the abbot of Tongfa Temple, and words such as husband and little girl who love you appeared in mobile phone conversations. Lin Dehua refuted in an interview on the 12th, questioning that he was suppressed by dark forces in combination with prosecution and investigation when the polls rose, and emphasized that he would fight to the end. Lin did not respond positively to the question of whether to call the abbot husband, only reiterating that he would persevere to the end in the face of attacks. News focus: Typhoon Yangliu No. 11 continues to approach Taiwan, and the Japan Meteorological Agency predicted in the early morning of the 12th that Yangliu will make landfall from Taitung as soon as the 13th, and has a chance to reach a strong typhoon level. The typhoon is currently located in the south of Okinawa, with a central pressure of 985 hPa and a maximum wind speed of 30 meters per second, and is expected to increase to 35 meters per second in the early morning of the 13th, with a storm circle radius of about 150 kilometers. The meteorological agency predicts that Yangliu will enter South China in the early morning of the 14th and gradually weaken into a tropical depression, and its impact on Taiwan and surrounding areas will continue to attract attention. News focus: Li Qiana recently released a creative video on IG, publicly in the same frame as her 21-year-old daughter Gu Ying for the first time, officially exposing the second-generation star who has attracted much attention. In the film, the mother and daughter are wearing exactly the same costumes, like a mirror image reappearing, and Li Qiana also humorously described her daughter as a god gene that was copied and pasted by Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V. The two sang Li Qiana's classic song Never Came Back, showing their outstanding singing voice and deep feelings. There is also an interesting Easter egg at the end of the film, and the daughter personally introduced herself as Li Qiana's daughter Gu Ying, which surprised fans. News focus: the scandal between Cai Shanghua and Lin Bingsheng continued to ferment, and the two were photographed returning to Cai Shanghua's residence together, and Cai then broke up with her boyfriend of 11 years. Although the two sides deny their relationship, Lin Bingsheng can still freely enter and exit Cai's house recently. On July 19, Lin Bingsheng and his high school teacher said goodbye after dinner, and after Cai Shanghua attended the Flower Expo in the afternoon of the same day, he quickly got into Lin Bingsheng's car parked nearby, and the two interacted intimately, and their relationship was still concerned. News focus: Xie Yurong, former director of the North Branch of the Power Development Agency of the Ministry of Labor, is under trial for corruption, and after the trial yesterday, 11th, in order to avoid media interviews, he left through the court's official channel, raising doubts about privilege. The Taipei Bar Association issued a statement on the 12th, admitting that some conference staff assisted Xie in using official channels in violation of regulations, and said that this move was improper because of concerns for the safety of the parties and did not apply for court permission. The Law Society has launched an internal investigation and will punish those involved, stressing that it will strengthen management and education to prevent similar incidents from happening again. News focus: the U.S. Congress recently held a hearing on unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, and the well-known physicist Dr. Davis revealed that there are 4 types of aliens that may control UFOs, namely gray people, Nordic people, insect people and lizard people. These alien images are derived from historical abductions, Norse human characteristics, insect characteristics, and reptilian conspiracy theories. Missouri Rep. Verizon said he had heard relevant statements at the meeting, emphasizing that the government should disclose the truth to the public, and although he has reservations, he still believes that investigating UAPs is a taxpayer's right. This topic has once again sparked heated discussions and doubts about the existence of extraterrestrial life.